So today I'm at a used car dealer auction. So what we're seeing here at used car dealer auctions is more and more repos actually show up here. Today I'm going to show you what a dealer pays for this repo Lexus GS 350. And it's showing me that consumers are not paying their car bills. Let's talk about it. This is what a repo looks like. This is what repos do. They overheat. They get hauled in and then they overheat. And the weakness coming from the consumer and the record high auto loan delinquencies that we're seeing right now is even affecting my small used car dealership. Today I'm going to show you what a dealer pays for this 4Runner, but it's got 288,000 miles. The amount of repos that are coming through the system right now are absolutely insane.
Here we go, boys. It's sale time. Sale time. Let's go.
So I want you to check out this whole row behind me right here. These are all repos, and we've seen more and more of these repos show up at auction. I mean, check that out right there. Repos typically, I mean, that's a duct taped bumper. That's what we see with repos, but these represent consumers that would not pay their bills. So what happens? Well, the dealer that actually loaned the money to them to be able to buy these cars, well, they didn't pay them, and the dealer picked them up and brought them here to dump them here at auction. And this is what we're seeing more and more and more throughout the car market, is that auto loan delinquencies are at the highest level that they've ever been. Think about that. Think about that. Even 2008, auto loan delinquencies are higher right now than when they were back before the 2008 financial crisis. And this is just showing what not only the car market is dealing with right now, but just consumers in our economy. This is what they're having to deal with right now. And we're seeing it show up so much more here at these used car dealer auctions. And it's affecting the whole car market, because as you have these consumers that are unwilling or unable to actually make their car payments, well, it can affect the next layer of buyers, where now they're being pulled out of the market because their credit scores are getting hit, or they're not able to get into new loans. And we're seeing it show up here at auction, where their cars are winding up right here where we can actually buy them. All right, so check this out. We'll look at this one. It said 2012 4Runner, but look at this. Look at this. It's got 288,000 miles. Look, outside body of it looks it looks okay. That's crazy. With it having 288,000 miles, is limited, and still look this good. Somebody took care of this thing. Ow, I just hit my shoulder. Yeah, insane that this thing's got that many miles on it and still here. All right, here's the 4Runner, 288,000 miles. Actually, we need to go back to this 4Runner, and I missed this when I was walking around. I think I only walked around the other side of it and then the back, but check it out. The 4Runner looked great, had 288,000 miles, but this whole side is dented in. So remember that when we were looking at the price on the inside. And remember, we got this ding on this side over here. Trying to start at $9,500. Crazy. Drop down $9,000. Drop down to $8,500. Drop down to $8,500. Drop down to $8,500. Still no bids. All right, let's check inside of it. Seat's worn down. I mean, it's got 288,000 miles. I don't know if I said that already, but it should be worn down some. But I mean, this thing does not look like it's got anywhere close to the amount of miles. And just keep that in mind, because somebody's going to pay ridiculous money for this thing, even with it having 288,000 miles. And it's because it's a 4Runner. 4Runners bring stupid money. And you got a little bit of dings, dents here and there, but I mean, what are you expecting for this? It's just crazy. This many miles, it's still here, still running. It's going to bring a lot of money. Drop down to $8,000, still no bids. $7,000, still no bids. All right, we dropped down to $3,000. All right, we got 31, 32, 33. It's going to roll out. It's going to try to roll out. It's rolling out. We're up to 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, up to 4,000. It's rolling out. Still bidding on it. We're at 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, up to $5,000. 288,000 miles. 5,000, 51, 52. $5,200, and they didn't sell to the lane. Put on the F bid, put on a phone call. $5,200, 288,000 miles. Crazy. Let's talk about this is what a repo looks like. I mean, that's a lot of tape. That's a that's a significant amount of tape on this bumper. You got cracked. I mean, you got cars that are wrecked that don't get fixed. Why would we fix it? Nobody's paying for it. Why would it fix it? We got regulators in the back of these windows. These windows will not roll up. Why fix that? Nobody's making the payments on these cars. When things go bad in these repos, we got stuff falling off of them, hanging out of the front of the car. Why would any of this stuff get fixed when consumers know that they're not going to make payments on the cars? And this is why we go through and we show you what's going on with these consumers, because they know they're not going to. It's not that they just lost their job and they lose their car immediately. No, this is a process that happens for a lot of these consumers where they know that they get in over their head. They know they buy a car that they can't pay for anymore, and then it goes for weeks, sometimes even months, where cars can, I mean, lot rot even when they're sitting in someone's driveway. I mean, that's a real thing that dealers have to deal with, but it's even worse when these consumers, I guess it wouldn't be called lot rot at that point, it'd be driving rot of consumers that aren't going to spend any money on their used vehicle. When they're not making payments, why would they even bother to do this? And this is why most of these repos that we see go through the system, they look like this. They look like baked out in the sun, bad paint. They have headlights falling off. They run into poles, and they're not going to let the lender know that any of this stuff happened. No, we're not doing that, because we're going to drive this car as long as possible while we're not paying for it, so we can get whatever free ride we can. And this is what a lot of these repos at these car dealer auctions look like, and this is what we have to sift through if we want to be someone who wants to buy a repo. And I can tell you for most cases, even for my car dealership, we buy cars that we can sell for $5,000 and under. And even with my dealership, it's very rare that we buy a repo because the quality is even too bad for us at our price point. We sell cars that are $5,000 and under. It's crazy. So these credit problems that a lot of these consumers are experiencing, this record high delinquency rate that we're seeing in autos, well, it's actually affecting my car a lot too. Now, I don't finance, so I'm not repoing cars. That's not the way it's affecting me. But what happens is when these people, when they're challenged with their credit, they go and try to buy a brand new car. Well, what I'm hearing from a lot of GMs, what I'm hearing from a lot of salespeople is that they have to turn away a lot of these consumers because of the amount of negative equity that they have come in, because of the repos that they have on their credit, because their credit scores are so low, they can't put these consumers into loans. So what does that do? Well, that takes buyers out of the market. And how that affects me is that when you have buyers that come out of the market, well, their trade-ins then don't come to auctions because those consumers can't trade out of their old car that they owe so much more money on to get into that brand new car. So the amount of used vehicles that are entering the space is getting lower and lower and lower because these dealers can't work with these customers. Now, traditionally throughout the car market, negative equity is not a rare thing, but now the negative equity is so high that these dealers can't lease these consumers out of their cars. They can't roll over this negative equity into the next loan because they have negative equity that's 10, 15, in some cases $20,000. So that takes a large portion of consumers that would buy a car, buy a brand new car, and then trade in 3 years later, and then buy a brand new car, and then trade in 3 years later, and then always continue the cycle, just roll over negative equity after negative equity. But if they bought in the last 2, 3, 4 years, they have so much of this negative equity that there are no strings that these dealerships can actually pull to get them into their next car. So those consumers that typically would keep the car market rolling year in, year out by just rolling over negative equity, well, now they can't do that. All right, so check it out. This is our repo lane right here. This is a Lexus GS 350. This one's going to be a repo. It's a 2015. And check this out. It's got I'll show you. It's got 197,000 miles on it, but we're going to still find out what a dealer will pay for this repo. Actually, the outside body looks better than I would typically imagine most repos are looking like. You see, it's been dinged because you can see it's not lined up right there. We got some scuffs right here. Let's go around the outside. Tires looking a little low. We got some scratches on the back. But even with all that, this is like one of the best shaped repos that we're going to run into here at this auction. All right, here's that Lexus. We're gonna bring it up. Try to start $12,000. No bids, no bids. It's a repo. It's a repo. It's a repo. Still no bids. Dropping at 11,000. Still no bids. Look inside of it. As you can imagine, repos are gross, nasty. I don't know. I always want to put my hand on the seat to lean across to look, but I don't even want to do that. Maybe the steering wheel is maybe a little bit safer. Let's do that. At least someone's exterior hasn't been on this interior part. The exterior's been on that interior part, but their exterior has not been on. Yes, that's, you know what I'm trying to say. Anyway, it's dirty car, but we're gonna check it on the inside and see what a dealer will pay for this. It should be significantly lower than what just your normal trade-in would bring. Nobody's even looking at it. Not for that price. Drop down 10,000. Still no bids. All the way down 6,000. 6,000. Still, I don't think he's got any bids. All right, we're trying to start at 3,000. Auctioneer won't even take it. All right, rolling out. Still don't think we have any bids. All right, it's rolling out. We're still trying to get bids on it. This is what happens with repos. No sell, no sell. Not even a bid. Not even one bid. Somebody tried to start at 3,000. He said no. Needed at least to start out 6,000. That doesn't even mean the seller would take 6,000. Just means you want to start at 6,000. One thing that's interesting to me, I talk to a lot of these buy here, pay here dealers, and they know their customers very well. They know what they'll pay for, what they want, when they stop making their payments, when they will make their payments. They can gauge someone when they come in and fill out the application of if this loan's going to be good or not. But one thing that they tell me often, I've heard it from multiple buy here, pay here dealers, and these are the dealers that are like on the side of the highway. They got $9.95 down, and then you go in there and you make $150 payments every 2 weeks to them. But what they'll say about their consumers is they have different levels, different priorities of things that they'll pay and where their car payment fits in. And the first thing they're going to pay for is their housing. They got to have somewhere to live. They got to have shelter. That's the number one thing. But number two, you would think it'd be their car so they can get to work and then pay for everything else, but that's not number two. Number two is their cell phone. They'll pay for their phone bill, their phone plan second, because they can go without a car, they can go without going to work, but they can't live without that cell phone. So it's very interesting to hear that from a lot of these buy here, pay here dealers. Now, number three is their car payments, and then everything else is going to fall off. So if they start losing their car, well, everything else after that is also not getting paid. So, but it's funny to me. I mean, it's sad. It's sad too that our culture is that way, where it's your house. I mean, you're going to have somewhere to live, but then it's your cell phone. Before you even try to go to work, you're going to pay your cell phone, and that's the sad reality of where we live, the culture that we're in. That you got to have your cell phone. You can't do any. I mean, who cares about work? We don't need to go to work. Kids don't need to go to the doctor. They don't need to get to school. Nah, we need to worry about that. I'm gonna scroll on TikTok, or I'm gonna watch Brandon's YouTube video. That's what I'm gonna do. That's more important than getting to work. It's watching Brandon on the lookity tube. Well, I guess it wouldn't be on the lookity tube because that's the TV. It's the handedy tube. I'm trying here. Give me another second. No, didn't come up with anything on YouTube. That's what I'm talking about. They're watching me. That's what it is. And then they're not paying their payments. One thing that I've noticed over the last month and a half or so is a lot of these vehicles that are behind me, and I know you don't know exactly what I'm talking about, but these are all independent car dealers. And what independent car dealers are, car dealers just like myself. They have small shops. They'll probably have one store. They keep 20, 30, 40 cars on their lot at any given time. They're not big franchise dealers. But what happens is that when we see more of these independent car dealers actually running cars through the auction, we know that there's a higher level of weakness in the car market. And the reason why I say that is because why would these dealers be bringing these cars, these independent dealers? You can understand big franchise dealers bringing cars to the auction because a Nissan dealer that just trades for this Murano, someone's trading up to get a new Murano, if you can imagine even a consumer buying a Murano then wanting another one. But if that consumer trades in that for a brand new Murano, well, that Nissan dealer it doesn't matter how good that car is, but a 10, 15-year-old Murano, they're not going to keep that on their dealership. They're going to send it straight to auction. So that's understandable. It doesn't matter what type of market we're going through, new franchise dealers are dumping a lot of their trade-ins at auction. That's how we get a lot of our vehicles. But independent dealers don't do this unless there's a problem, because they can get so much more money from their vehicles if they retail them to consumers. The only reason I'm ever dumping a car at auction is because I have to put too much money into it, or I don't think it's safe enough for me to be able to sell it to one of my consumers. That's the only reason. But a lot of these independent dealers, they are on credit. They finance their inventory, and just like a credit card, well, they have interest payments that come due. So if they experience a slower time, which is what we're experiencing right now, then sometimes they have to turn over some quick cash. What's the easiest way for a dealer to turn over quick cash? Well, it's for them to bring it to auction, because they can sell that vehicle that day. It's going to bring a lot less money, but it's going to be instant cash. And as we see more of these independent dealers actually bringing these vehicles to auction, it lets me know, as a dealer that observes the market and sees what goes through these auctions, that they need some cash and they need it right now. And they can't wait on that retail customer. So what are they doing? Well, they're bringing it to a used car dealer auction so they can sell it to another used car dealer, just like myself. And then I'm going to pay for these cars that I buy today. I'm going to pay for them today. And that dealer that's selling them is going to get that money today. I'm seeing a lot more of this right now than what we've seen even over the last 5 years.